Right, Brian,
Yes,
are you ready to go?
we're
Give a
ready.
progressive update.
Yes, we are.
Thank you
So,
very much. Go ahead. Take it
thank
away.
you. So, welcome again, everybody. Thank you for engaging in chat. I was having a good time there, and very good history lesson, Oz. So, very much appreciated. Did great. And but first off, I just want to give some props to Progressive California for a great show that they had last week. I was very well interested in that. I do want to alert everyone that yes, the primaries are right around the corner here in Washington. There's been some primaries already in our nation, and Waback has been doing our interviews and events lately as well. If you see this graphic here, it shows the CDs in Washington and the candidates we have endorsed already. We have Dorothy Gasquet in CD3, Sarah Smith in CD9, and Tamborine Borelli in CD10. And in light of that, I wanted to start giving some more updates for candidates and initiatives. With that, I want to give a candidate summary that gives a shorter, more condensed version of who's running and events they will be attending. We want to highlight these events, let people hear what they have to say. All of these interviews here will be on our Washington Bernie-Kratz Coalition YouTube page, which will be linked below. And if you have a chance to listen to what these candidates are saying, I believe that you'd be very interested in supporting them. If you support the platform of the Bernie Sanders 2016 campaign, that you would enjoy this segment, and I would like to hear some feedback to what you think. Please leave me a comment or let me know on social media. I'll also check chat real quick to see if we got anything going. Is there any questions that anybody might have about any of these candidates?
None listed.
No, okay. Well, get back to me if you do. I'll check back in with that here in a minute. All right. So, and first up, we had our interview this week with Tyler Vega. We had 2 interviews, and one of them was his. It was a great interview. I had a lot of fun talking to him about that article. The first, I'm not gonna lie about that. That's something that's really huge. It's what he's pretty much running on. His top reasons for running is to call attention to the case in federal court. It's Laverne versus House of Reps, and also to bring about a change in perception of single-payer healthcare. I believe he's in our chat right now. If you guys have any questions, you can direct them at Tyler right now. And welcome, Tyler. Thanks for tuning in. You can find the interview for him on our YouTube station. And if you, whoops, I lost my place. You can find the interview on our YouTube, along with more interviews from other candidates, including Jennifer Ferguson, Jeremy Tootin, and David Strider, all of which are running in the Senate seat running for the Senate seat in 2018. And we're anticipating receipt of a vetting questionnaire shortly for Steve Hoffman as well in this race, and looking forward to that. And here you can see a little map of CD2, just to give some perspective to where CD2 falls on the map. Runs from Bellingham in the north, going down pretty much the I-5 corridor to a little part of Linwood there, and encompassing all of Island and San Juan counties. So that's a pretty diverse CD, and if you look at that, it's apparent how much work you got to do to reach the constituents in the area. So moving on to Jason Ritterizer and Robert Hunziker. They're both running in CD8. Our interview with Jason went very well. His platform seems good on social reform and anti-corruption, along with Medicare for all. He's more focused on the middle class out of the 2 that we interviewed. And right now it looks like he and Robert Hunziker will be the only ones seeking endorsement for this race for the Washington Bernie-Kratz. Robert is a self-proclaimed socialist. He's most about helping working people, getting money out of politics, Medicare for all, and creating a, quote, user-friendly interface with the government for the people. I believe that's such a great moniker to have. He has a background in computers and technology, so it makes perfect sense for him. We hope to have an event planned in the future for a roundtable session to give the group a better sense of who they want us to support, and that's up to you guys. So when we get these interviews, we'll get them up into our channels, and you guys vote and tell us who to endorse. It's up to you. So, and moving on to what it looks like in CD8, to give some perspective here again. We see the CD8 stretches over vast swaths of land in the central part of the state and Cascades, mostly, with parts of Pierce County in there. gives some perspective to really how big these districts are to traverse for these candidates and all that goes into reaching out to the voters and how important it is to get to these rural areas. So that's very nice. And going on to Tambourine, our very own Tambourine Borelli was on an episode of No Sellouts with Tim Black. She had an amazing interview. I can't get enough of how much this woman has a fire in her that I have just never seen with any other candidate before. It's amazing. I have nothing but great things to say about her. These are the types of candidates we need to be on the lookout for to help elevate our message. And she's running as an independent. Her website will be in the description below. Check her out. I highly encourage you to support her and at least hear her out, see what she has to say. She's gone through a lot to do what she's doing, and we fully support her in what she's doing. So thank you, Tambourine, for that interview. We love your message and keep pushing for those issues that matter. And here we have another graphic for CD10. This one's focused mostly on Olympia, as you can see, but it's quite diverse as far as my understanding of the area, and has a rural setting with some really dense populations in University Place, Fife, and Puyallup. So if there's any more questions, I'll take a cue from that. It doesn't look like any questions are coming up.
I got a question for you, Brian.
Yeah.
So when you talk about we endorse her, we support, who's we? Because like I know, I can have an opinion, you can have an opinion, but what is that, UHM, or who are you talking about there?
That would be the Washington Bernie-Kratz Coalition, Our Revolution, Washington Bernie-Kratz Coalition. We have our local vetting site also, the local Bernie-Kratz Washington State. They both can be found on Facebook, and I encourage you guys to get in there, send us an invite or a join request, and make sure you answer the questions for us so that we get a little bit of a description of who we're dealing with and where you stand on some things and how engaged you would like to become. So,
okay.
I hope that answers your question.
There is a comment from a candidate that you didn't mention.
Is that Clay Johnson?
Yes, it
yes.
is.
We did interview Clay Johnson as well in our Senate. I apologize, Clay, for that. Not trying to make any light of that. So my apologies. I will be better on getting that in there next time.
Thank you. One thing I want to make sure that we mention too is that Whole Washington has been able to start printing out their ballot initiative to get signatures. We can't get them out fast enough for people to sign. Please visit wholewashington.org to sign up to either get one mailed to you or find out where your nearest pickup drop-off area is, location is to you. We need people who will go out and gather signatures at farmers markets, in front of stores. I mean, you name it. Please reach out. Even if you can only get 1 or 2 signatures from your area, those 1 or 2 signatures are very important to us. So again, wholewashington.org. Lots and lots of things going on. Tomorrow in Tacoma is a big kickoff. If you can make it there, it's imperative to get involved right now. We have until July 1st is what we're looking at, getting all of those back to make sure that we have everything in line.
Yep, the Workers Demand Healthcare, big kickoff happening. We're going to have the economist Gerald Friedman will be the keynote speaker, and they're going to show a film called Fix It. So I've heard good things about it. Check it out if you can.
You got several here, starting with slide 54.
So yeah, I-1600. I just did the Workers Demand Healthcare. We'll do the I-1600. Of course, Rhonda she touched on that one. And there's not really much to add there. It's going to be about 6 p.m. Saturday, 17th. Will be 10 a.m. and intend to reach out the link below. And we'll go on to the Fuse Spokane Book Club. This one's brought up by Courtney. She loves her books, of course. The Fuse Book Club will meet February 21st to discuss Citizen by Claudia Rankine. This is the 3rd Wednesday of February. Claudia Rankine's book is called Citizen, and there's a quote, if you guys are interested, from her book. The challenge of making racism relevant or even evident to those who do not bear the brunt of its ill effects is tricky. Rankin brilliantly pushes poetry's forms to disarm readers and circumvent our carefully constructed defense mechanisms against the hint of possibly being racist ourselves. From the New York Times book review by Holly Bass.
Oh, go ahead. Okay, so, well, you gave me credit for mentioning, funneling you this event, but I want to say the most important part of this event is that it's put on by Fuse, and I just want to remind everybody that Fuse endorsed candidates in Tacoma for city council that take LNG money. So while I support the author and I support the gathering and the message, I do not support Fuse, and I hope anybody who attends will ask them to stand accountable.
Great point, Courtney. Thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you.
And lastly, is defending the sacred. They'd like to invite everyone to an evening with a panel of frontline Indigenous water warriors who will share their challenges and strategies for defending the sacred in their respective territories. This event will be on Monday, the 12th, from 7 to 9 p.m. in Olympia. And I encourage you all to get interested in that one. There's all sorts of other events and things happening around our state right now. This is just a select few of what we have going on, but that's all I have for now. Thank you all so much. And if there are any questions, I'd like to address them. Please feel free to reach out to me on social media. There's always room for questions. There's always room for expanding and volunteering. So I encourage you all to get involved. Thank you guys. Have a good one.